Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for being here. And if you could just like and share, we're going to have a great conversation tonight that I hope as many women as possible can be a part of in this wife lesson session here tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to just take some time to share, and I hope that you will share as well. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. All right. So glad to have you all. We've got I'm prepared for just a great conversation tonight um, with Miss Roz Warren. I'm going to bring her on the screen here in a minute. If you are tuning in, if you could go ahead and just like and share, tag some woman that you know is she's a wife, and maybe a woman that you know is a wife and she's in a challenging season of her life in her marriage. Um, if you can go ahead and tag them and get them involved tonight. So, as you all know, I've been actively promoting a challenge that I have coming up next week. It's called Become the Irresistible Wife 3-day challenge. It's May 27th through 29th of 2025. That is next week. That is a Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and a Thursday night, where I am going to be for totally for free for any woman who is signed up. You get to come into a space with me for 3 nights, and I am going to teach you some powerful things that are going to help you step into your worth as a wife. It's going to help you bring out the best in your husband, even if he's not acting so good right now, or even if you're in a challenging season with him right now. I'm going to teach you how to bring out the best in him, and I'm going to teach you how to become irresistible and get more of the love that you want, need, and deserve. I know a lot of women, especially if you're just in a challenging season, you may have forgotten your worth, or you can just get so stuck in the problem that you can't see your way out. And so I just want to invite you into that space for 3 days with me next week. It's called Become the Irresistible Wife Challenge. And so I've been going live for several days this week, just having some powerful conversations with some other wives, and which I'm calling wife lessons. One thing I have learned about the feminine spirit is that women, we learn, we heal, and we grow in community. We learn, we heal, and we grow in community. And when you're going through a challenging situation, particularly as a woman, one of the worst things that you can do is isolate yourself. What you need is community. And I know not every community is a safe community. I am well aware of that. But it doesn't have to be a huge community, it doesn't have to be a big community, but you need community, because women, we learn, we grow, and we heal in community. I believe that. I don't know. I won't speak to the masculine spirit. I don't know. I'm a woman. I know the feminine spirit, and I know that women thrive. We learn, we grow, and we heal in community. And the areas that hurt, this is what I've heard someone say, and as a woman, I believe it's true. No matter how successful a woman is, if her relationships are not well, she is not well. If her relationships are not going well, she doesn't feel successful. It doesn't matter how successful she is in any other area of her life. If her relationship, namely her marriage, is not going well, she does not feel successful. Because women, we're just relational creatures, and so much of our success is based on the quality of our relationships. And so if you are a wife right now and wife has become hard, or you're in a challenging season for 1,000 different reasons, then this is a space for you. I would love for you to take the challenge. We're going to put the link in the comments section. I would love for you to be a part of that challenge that's happening next week. Become the Irresistible Wife Challenge. Okay. And we will put the link in there. Okay. But I want to introduce to some, as they say it, present to some, introduce to others, my guest for tonight. And she is Roz Warren from the big city of Little Rock, Arkansas. It's the biggest city in Arkansas.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's the biggest city in Arkansas. Little Rock, Arkansas is where my hubby is from Little Rock, Arkansas. And she pastors a wonderful church alongside her husband. And Roz is someone that I follow online. I know that you and your husband have, like me and my husband, Dr. Dexter Howe, where you guys share a passion for marriage and family and helping to strengthen marriages and family. And I just know that's your space, that's your passion. I know that you also have been through your share of challenges in that domain. And so I was just going to give you an opportunity, Roz, to introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then we'll get into our conversation.
Okay. So like you said, I am Roz Warren, married to Pastor Alfred Warren. We've been married, I want to say this year in November will be, when you've been married so long, you almost just forget and you have to calculate. I think it's 33 years this year.
Oh my God, y'all are 33 years?
Yes.
Wow.
Been together 36 because we were together 3 years before we got married, and then married 33 years. We have 3 sons, a 29-year-old, 27-year-old, and a about to be 25-year-old. And we have a daughter-in-law, a daughter-in-love is what I like to call her, because she is like a daughter to me. And we have a new grandbaby. And like you said, Alfred and I, we are just passionate about marriage, and we believe that strong families build strong communities, and it's what makes the world go around. So we really believe in pouring into married couples and trying to share what God has taught us, because Jeanette, we didn't have like a Jeanette back when we were going through our stuff,
Yeah, Jeanette didn't have a Jeanette. Lord,
we just had to figure it out, us and the Lord. And so we didn't have a choice. It was either go to jail because we didn't, or it was go our separate ways, or it was try to figure out how to do it. And the only way to do that was with the Lord. So that's kind of, that's the way that the route that we finally took. So I think that just going through what we've gone through now, it used to be kind of an embarrassment for me because, you don't really want people to know that part of your life. We did really good of hiding things. So we weren't real comfortable with letting the world in on that until we were healed and until we had a wholeness about us. And so once we got to that place, we're open book now. We'll tell everything. So
you'll tell it all after you get
tell it all.
You had 3 options. I heard it right there. You said y'all got married and you had 3 options. Go to jail because you was gonna kill somebody was gonna kill her.
Yeah.
Somebody was gonna get killed.
Yeah.
Or harmed.
Yes.
Go to jail. Go our separate ways before, or you were gonna break through and figure this thing out.
Yes, because there was not an option to stay together and be miserable. Like that was not an option.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's so good. That could be a whole conversation right there.
Yeah.
Because I hear a lot of. So I know you pastor with your husband, and so you're in the church world like me. So I know I'm getting ready to break some sacred cows, because every time I say this as a pastor, I feel, especially when around other pastors, they look at me sideways, but it's from my experience.
Yeah.
You know, you hear people saying divorce is not an option. Divorce is not an option. That is not the truth.
Yeah, no. Yeah, yeah.
Divorce is an option.
It is. It
Even the
absolutely is.
scripture says that divorce is an option.
Yeah, it is an
Now it
option.
needs to be it. I would I would tell anybody it needs to be the absolute last option, because
Yes,
it just the enemy that makes you think life is going to be so much better for you after divorce. It is not.
it is not.
Marriage
Because
is
you got,
hard and
hey,
divorce is hard.
because you got to take
Choose your
yourself
heart.
with you.
Come
You,
on. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I've had so many people say nobody prepares you for how hard divorce is.
yeah,
So marriage is real hard, and then people
yeah,
choose divorce, but nobody prepares you that divorce is
exactly.
probably going to be worse.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
because
yes, yes,
I
yes.
can do bad all by myself. You
Mm.
are going to do bad all
Yeah,
by yourself. Now
right.
you are.
Yeah,
You
true,
will.
true. Absolutely,
You see
absolutely.
what I'm saying? Both are hard. Marriage
Yeah,
is hard,
yep,
and divorce is
yep. Choose
choose
your
your
heart.
heart.
That's good. Yeah.
Right. But it is an option. And sometimes what is so to me, Roz, when this is where at the point I want to make, I so agree with you when you said that. But to me, the breakthrough came in our marriage. I remember when it was year 15. We've been married
Mm-hmm.
31 years.
Mm-hmm.
It in year 15, I was about to turn 40 years old. I went through a major shift crisis. I tell this in my wife class, the course that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But I went through a major crisis at year 15, and um, divorce became an option for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
because what was not an option was being miserable,
Yes,
staying married and being miserable.
absolutely
At
not.
year 15, that
Mm-mm.
became not an option for me.
Yeah, yeah,
And so I never filed for a divorce or
yeah,
anything, but the
yeah,
breakthrough came when it became an option on the table for me.
yeah,
And
yeah.
but that's what broke us
That-
through
That's good. That's good.
from just settling in a miserable marriage, you
Yes,
know,
yes, yes, yes,
um,
yes, yes.
and just going through the motions with each other and just staying married for the sake of staying
Staying
married.
married. Yeah.
Yeah, at year 15, when that became an option, that broke us through
Uh-huh.
actually
Wow.
into becoming a healthy, happy, vibrant, thriving marriage the
Mm-hmm.
next 15 years,
Isn't that crazy how that is the thing that brought you to that point? That's
it's the
like,
thing.
yeah,
hmm
yeah,
But if I had just settled for that religious mindset,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
divorce is not an option.
yeah.
And I'm gonna see if this is your observation.
Okay.
'Cause I know you've been across the table from a lot of situations like I have as a pastor, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We know all the stuff.
Yes, we do.
Uh, oh, we know it all. We've heard it all. And after long, doing this for a long time with all different people from all these different walks of life,
Mm-hmm.
um, I every time I hear across the table, and you'll hear it's always one particular spouse that will say, "Well, for us, divorce is not an option,"
Mm-hmm.
and the other person is sitting there quiet.
Uh-huh.
It is. It's usually the one that says divorce is not an option. Is the one that's doing the least growing, least changing, least accommodating,
Mm.
least everything.
Mm-hmm. Just want to
And it's
stay in it
always
just the way you are. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the
Mm-hmm.
one that's saying divorce is not an option.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's to me it's manipulation.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Anyway,
That's
that's I
good.
don't know where that fits in, but I've seen that several times,
Yeah.
and even scripture gives divorce as an option.
Yeah. That's true.
For
That's so
infidelity and
true.
other things. Because God, I really don't believe that marriage is intended uh, for us to just hang on, barely survive. For just a prison for the rest of your life, barely surviving. I
Well,
think. Yes,
and
go ahead.
I completely agree with that because when you look at marriage, and I don't think people really look at it in this light, but marriage
Mhm.
should mirror our relationship with Christ.
Come on.
And
Woo.
our relationship with Christ should not be a prison. It should not be a chore. It should not be something that
Yes,
we just
ma'am.
kind of. So, if that relationship is expected to be vibrant and to grow and to thrive,
Yes.
why would you
Yes.
think your marriage?
Why? That's so good.
Yeah, yeah,
Why
yeah,
would you think that your marriage
yeah.
would be anything less than that? Because
Yes,
it's supposed to be reflective of
yes,
our union with Christ.
yes.
Absolutely. And that
Yes.
union with Christ, it absolutely is all about growth. It's
Yes.
all about adventure. It's
Yes.
all about love. It's
Yes.
all that's the most beautiful relationship,
Mm-hmm.
that exists. And
Yeah.
so that's really good. I'm going to take that one.
Yeah.
But what I see a lot of people, I see, unfortunately, I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine via text today. She's a marriage and family therapist,
Mm-hmm.
and she was just saying, you would just she's brokenhearted by the condition of marriages.
Mm-hmm.
That she's just brokenhearted
Mm.
because of the condition of marriages
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most people are just barely surviving.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
You're like, I'm talking about even in our space, even in the Christian world, the church world.
Yes. Yes.
They're barely surviving. They're
Yes.
trying to hold on to their vows. I see it this way. The image I have in my mind is, marriage. A lot of people are in marriage. They're holding on to their vows like a person holding on to one plank in the middle of the ocean.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine how horrifying that is?
Mm-hmm.
That's just called just surviving.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
just surviving. You're just trying to keep your vows like you
Yes.
holding on to a plank in the ocean. Well, that's horrifying. That's
Yes.
stressful. That's
Yes.
surviving. There's
Yes.
more for you. There's
Yes.
more than that.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's so much more than that. And my passion is to get women in particular to the more of that, because generally that woman is, I think, in my opinion, in my experience, she is the real barometer for what the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
real
Mm-hmm.
quality of the relationship is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hmm.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if we're not happy, if we are not feeling a sense of emotional fulfillment or happiness, inside the marriage, the family is really
Yeah.
in a vulnerable state.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm,
Absolutely.
mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my strategy God has given me to really strengthen the family, which ultimately we're after, is to reach the heart of that woman and to give her help
Yes.
and help her break through into the possibilities. And
Yeah.
a lot of that has to do not with him, but with her.
Yes. And I
Hmm.
love, I love the title that you've given this.
Hmm.
When wife goes wrong. Is that it?
Well, that was the one last night. But
Oh, okay.
we gonna talk about that, because I want to talk about some. So you can pick whatever challenge, because I know you've had them. Whatever space in your life
Okay.
as a wife,
Okay.
where you were really challenged,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
would love for you to tell us some, just how you broke through.
Okay. Okay. So like you said earlier, we've been together 33 years, so I can just pick one.
Hmm.
Um, I'll start here though. I think so when I was little, like literally when the teacher was asking, what do you want to be when you grow up, my answer was always, I want to be a wife and a mom. That was always what I wanted
Wow.
to be, like always what I wanted to be. I had
Wow.
other aspirations as far as career goals and things like that as well,
Hmm.
but ultimately that's what I wanted to be, a wife and a mom.
Yeah.
um the problem with that was the unrealistic expectations and the unrealistic view that I had of being a wife and a mom. And I think
Mm.
going into marriage, I wasn't I didn't get what I expected it to be.
Okay.
And so that of course caused a lot of issue. You on TV, you as a little girl, you watch all the romantic cartoons and you see the
Hmm.
happily ever after and you see the beautiful
Hmm.
weddings and all of the things. And in my mind, that's kind of what marriage was supposed to be. I just thought that that's what marriage was supposed to be. I didn't know that I had to actually do something to make it be that.
Oh, Ooh, that is so good.
Yeah. And so I just assumed that, you get married and everything was just, I mean, you find your person, you love your person loves you. So everything just is perfect. And I got into it and like, bam, like hit immediately with, yeah, you got to do your part. And so when I went into marriage, I had a lot of baggage that I had never told anyone about, not even my mom or anybody. I just kind of, put it in there and didn't deal with it. And it happened to start to spill out all over the place once I got married.
Wow.
And so Alfred and I, we dealt with infidelity in our marriage early on.
Wow. Okay.
And since we're talking about me, I'm going to talk about me and not about him. He was the one that stepped outside of the marriage, but I'm going to talk about how easy I made it for him to step outside of the marriage. And I don't want to say this without first giving the disclaimer that it's never okay for you to do that.
Ma'am.
Like there's nothing your spouse can do that, because that's a decision that you make. It's not about how your spouse. But I do believe that as a spouse, you can make it easy for your spouse to make that decision. Yeah. And even, Jeanette, I'm gonna be honest with you, like even preparing for tonight, I wasn't really sure where we were gonna go with this, but the Lord really revealed something to me tonight after all of these years that I never really saw before. I know that I didn't do my part as a wife, but tonight, as I was preparing, the Lord showed me that I had a really prideful way of looking at marriage. I was so full of pride going into my marriage because, again, remind you, I had this romanticized view of what marriage was. So when I got married, I was like out of all of my friends, I was the first one to get married because we got married really young. And so I kind of had this kind of air about me. Like, I'm married. And it was in that now I'm actually just seeing, like literally today, that God stands against the proud, right?
Wow.
And I had put my marriage in a place that it didn't belong, if that makes sense. Like I had it esteemed so high, like, and had no regard for God at all. Because I wasn't doing marriage God's way. I was just doing marriage the way that I thought I was supposed to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
And so when we got in, after we had gotten married, we'd been married for maybe about a year or so. And I wasn't physically cheating with somebody else outside of my marriage, but I was cheating my husband out of intimacy. I was cheating my husband out of communication. I was cheating my husband out of affection. I was cheating my husband out of a lot of things.
Wow.
And I had to admit that about myself. And initially, of course, you want to point the finger and you want to blame the other person for stepping outside. You want to blame the other person for what they've done. But one day God just knocked me upside the head and said, it's not him, it's you. Like, it's, yes, he has his thing, but you have your thing. And while you're sitting here, again, sitting with your pride and placing all the blame on him, you have a huge part to play in this. And that was when I started learning my lesson. That was when I started learning that I have participated, and I think a lot of times when we talk to people, like they come to us about their marriages and stuff, and it's like, you have to realize, like, ma'am or sir, what you have because that's what you've helped to create. Like, yes, it's just, that's what you have is what you've created. And I had to come to that realization that what I had was what I had contributed to. And once God really started dealing with me, because I can't control him, like I can only do my part, like, and that means that I can control myself. And it wasn't until I really started to look at my part and to really try to work on me that things started to kind of change and switch up for us. So we dealt with that for a lot of years, though. And the infidelity wasn't something like he wasn't in like this long-term relationship. It was kind of off and on because that's how I was, right? I was lukewarm. I was on one day and off the next. You know, I was a
Mm,
wife one day and the next day I didn't want to be your wife, you know. So
wow.
I was just kind of doing my own thing. So he was doing his own thing. And then
Mm.
I had the nerve to be mad about it. So,
Whoa, that's
you know,
so
yeah.
good.
So
Wow.
yeah, so
You
that's kind of what we dealt with a lot of years. And
yeah.
like I said, and then when the Lord really started speaking to me about me, that's when things started to kind of change.
Do you feel like that was the catalyst when the Lord when how can I say it? Because I hear a lot of women feel like it's so unfair. It's so unfair. Like they feel like everything in the marriage depends on them. They've got to be the one. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tell,
yeah.
tell me as a wife, is that how it happened with you? You were the one that, of course, he cheated.
Yeah.
He had the, he stepped outside the marriage, but I hear you accepting clear responsibility
Mm-hmm.
that you created an environment
Yeah.
that made it easy for him to do that
Yep.
or that to fall for that temptation because you were
Yes.
withholding so much from him,
Yes. Yes.
that you were
Yes.
supposed to be providing as a wife. No excuse
Yes.
for
No
anybody
excuse.
stepping outside of the boundaries of the marriage. But I think
Yes.
you are it's just the truth.
Yeah.
You, as the wife, have to accept responsibility
Yes.
for
Yes.
your part. When you
It's
begin to change,
yes.
you see things changing in him.
Yes. Yes. And it's crazy because of course we stand before the altar and I don't really think we know or understand what all we are saying I do to,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know, you know, and
Mhm.
we get so excited about the wedding and the idea of being married that we aren't really conscious about what we are accepting and coming into agreement with. And
Yes.
so I think that for me, um I just didn't really have a clear understanding when I went into marriage
Yes.
of what my role would be.
Mm.
And I
Mhm.
think that's where the breakdown kind of initially started. Now, would
Yeah.
he have stepped out even if I was this wife that was doing all the things right and then everything? Maybe. I don't know. I
You
can't
don't
read
know.
his heart.
That's right.
I'll never know that. All I know is what I did and what I didn't do. And I know that a lot of that responsibility, fell on me to fix me.
Come on.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't until I stopped asking God to fix him and let him not do that to me again that I was able to kind of look in the mirror at myself and say, okay, God, fix me. Because obviously, but I also want to insert this like, initially it was coming again. I want to say maybe from a place of pride initially when I asked God that, because to fix me, it was more because I started feeling like it must be something wrong with me, like
Mhm.
I must not be good enough, kind of
Mhm.
like that
Mhm.
false
Mhm.
humility type thing that tried to
Mhm.
step in. But
Mhm.
when I really got serious about looking at me and not
Yeah.
being playing a victim but really taking responsibility for my part, that was when the change really happened, because it didn't happen immediately, because again I was like in a place of feeling sorry for myself and like feeling like I wasn't enough, but God told me I'm enough. So a man can't make me not be enough. God said I was enough.
Yes, ma'am.
you know
Yes, ma'am.
so so yeah, so I think yeah.
Well, this is what I say, for anyone who is listening. I shared this on a broadcast with someone I was interviewing the other night. And here is here is if you ask the Howards what our secret sauce is. I'm
Mhm.
sorry that somebody hollering.
It's
What
okay.
our secret what our secret sauce is to our 31-year marriage, to the longevity and the health of it. We
Mhm.
will tell you that it is personal development. So
Yes.
what does that mean? What does that mean? We stop working on our marriage. We don't work on our marriage. And I know that
Yes.
sounds so contradictory,
Uh-huh.
because we're in the helping people with the marriage business, but we don't work on our marriage. We work on ourselves.
That's good. Oh, that's good.
And so, because
Yeah.
the most frustrating thing in the world to do is to be working on a marriage.
Mm,
We're trying to work on our marriage right now. We're working on
mm-hmm,
our marriage,
mm-hmm.
which
Mm,
basically
mm,
means
mm, mm.
trying to fix each other.
Yes.
But the truth is, the marriage is broken because the two individuals are broken.
Yes. Yes.
That makes sense? The marriage
Yes.
is
Yes.
broken because the
Yes.
people in the marriage are broken.
Yes.
When the
Yes.
people in the marriage become individually whole, the marriage cannot help but to be healthy.
Mm, 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 mm.
And so we over the years have worked so much on our own. Well, Roz went somewhere. Roz, your video went out on this end, but I'll keep talking. I'm not for sure what happened with Roz, but we have worked so much on our personal development. We've just worked on ourselves, and we still do work on ourselves. If you think about the scriptures, I'm not for sure what happened to Roz, but Roz, if you can get back on, I don't have any video of you. I can see your name, but I'm not sure what happened to your video. But if you think about the scriptures, the scripture, the fruit of the spirit in Galatians, the fifth chapter, it talks about all the fruit of the spirit. One of those fruit of the spirit is self-control. And yeah, she lost connection. And I'll just say this, and then I'll close it out and give you an opportunity to learn more about the 3-day challenge that's coming up. But one of those fruit of the spirit is self-control. So the Holy Spirit enables us, empowers us to control ourselves. And anytime we're trying to control any other human being or fix any other human being, we really are out of bounds. The Spirit of God empowers us to control ourselves, and it is the most challenging thing really to control is yourself. And sometimes when you can't control yourself, we start trying to control other people, but it's really the self is the self. And so that's the Howard secret sauce that we have learned in 31 years of marriage is that we stop trying to fix the marriage, and we gave up a long time ago trying to fix each other. That's way out of bounds. But we work with on ourselves. We have just a personal commitment to our own personal growth, our personal wholeness, and that has just hello. He's back. Hello, Pastor. And
Hey,
that, yeah, just that concept alone right there has just completely transformed the quality of our relationship. And honest to goodness, I don't say this in a prideful way. I say this in a humble but truthful way.
Mhm.
Most of the time, our life together, our home, it's like it's really blissful, and it's peaceful and
Yeah. Yeah.
blissful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is because we have so committed
Mm.
um to each other. We've committed to our individual personal growth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That
And
makes all the difference.
yeah, it makes a difference. And then when two whole people,
Yep.
in a relationship together, is a beautiful experience. Do
Yes.
we have challenging moments? Yeah, had a meeting with each other. We were together, working together today. We're juggling so many projects. And I'm on the phone, one person handling some business. He's on the phone, another person handling some business. And I got on his nerves and he got on my nerves. He snapped at me and I snapped back.
Yes.
But we both understood, it was just stress. It was just a moment.
Yes. Yes.
It
Yes.
was just stress. It was a moment. He
Yep.
gave me a kiss and said bye or
Yep.
whatever,
Yep.
and so those kinds of things. I'm not trying to create this picture of heavenly
It's
angels
right.
around our
Right.
head,
Right.
but it is from just a place of just wholeness within. He's
Yes.
not easily angered. I'm not easily angered.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
patient with me. patient with him. He's not just patient with me, he's grown into being a patient person. I have
Yes.
grown into being a patient person.
Yes.
I've
That's good.
grown in, you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Fruit
Yes.
of the spirit
Yes.
has so developed in our lives because of just a commitment to personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that's changed the quality of relationships. So that's what I'm saying. I see so many people they trying to work on the marriage. It's like work on
Work
yourself.
on yourself. Yep.
Work
That's
on
so good.
yourself.
That's so good. Yeah, that's absolutely when we started to see the change happen in our marriage.
Mm,
Never even
when
thought about it like that. Not
yeah,
working on the marriage, but working on yourself. That's good. Didn't even
yeah.
think about it like that, but absolutely, that's when the change happened.
That's when you were doing it. You just didn't think about it
Just
that way.
didn't think about it. Yeah,
But that's exactly that's what changed everything.
yeah, yep, yep,
Is when you both started working on yourself. And
yeah,
sometimes one person has to be the catalyst,
yes,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
And that's where I see a lot of women getting stuck because they feel like I'm always the one. I'm always the one. I got to be the catalyst. I got to be
right.
somebody's got to be the catalyst in the relationship.
Yes,
And it
yes,
usually is the one that's a little bit further down the road,
yeah,
spiritually.
yes,
Sometimes it's the wife, sometimes it's the husband.
yeah, definitely, definitely,
Sometimes it is.
yeah.
But yeah, in a relationship, yeah, you could be the one that God has chosen,
Mm.
to be the catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, to me, it's worth it. Whatever it is that you had to, I know what you faced, but
Mm-hmm.
clearly you've
Mm-hmm.
been together 33 years. You have a peaceful, blissful life together, grandchild, children. You
Yes,
overcame. You
yes,
broke it.
yes, yes. With the help of the Lord, I mean,
Yeah.
and really seeking him on what to do, because I think that was another thing, or I think that is a thing that we don't oftentimes do enough of, is really seek when he tells us to acknowledge him and he'll give us direction. I mean, like, that's a real thing.
That's a real thing.
It is. And I think the sad narrative of it is we will acknowledge him, but when he gives us the direction, we don't like the direction. And so we decide to go another direction. And that's why it doesn't work out.
It
Right.
doesn't work out.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, acknowledging him and listening and being willing to follow the direction that he gives, even when it's not what I want, or even when it doesn't look like it's going to take me where I want to be,
Hmm.
or even when he's asking me to put my how I feel on the back burner and go off of, what his word says versus how I feel, right? Because
Yes.
everything that you've done to me warrants how I feel,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
But because I'm in relationship with Christ, I have to put that aside. I have to lay aside my will and follow the will of God. And every single time I've done that, 100% of the time,
100. Yeah.
100% of the time, he has brought me through.
100%.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
period. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And not just into a surviving place, but into a thriving place, into a
Yes,
place that is so far superior,
yes,
to
yes,
anything.
yes.
And but it's hard, it's hard on the flesh, just like, every command that God gives us, the flesh just doesn't want to do it,
Right.
you know.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
It just does not want to do it.
Yeah.
But it is always the path to what's superior,
Yeah.
um in any area of life, whether that's your marriage or anything else. It's,
Yes.
his way is just the superior way.
It is. It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, I for those of you who are tuning in, this is conversation. It's been a help to you, a blessing to you. If Roz has said some things from her own experience, some lady needs to hear her story, go ahead and tag her here in this conversation. And I also wanted to make sure that you know about a free 3-day challenge I have coming up for Kingdom women who are married, engaged, or want to be married. It is an opportunity for you to come inside with me for 3 days, and I'm going to teach some powerful things,
Mhm.
powerful things. When it comes to thriving in marriage, knowledge is power. And a lot of people are not doing well as wives, not because they don't want to do well. The scripture says we're perishing because of a lack of knowledge.
Yep.
I
Mhm.
believe that with every the core of my being,
Yeah. Yeah.
that people are perishing. Women are perishing outside of knowledge. Not because some woman is more special than you. That is just
Yes.
not the truth.
That's good.
It's because some woman is more
Good.
worthy than you, because
Good.
some woman is prettier than you or whatever than you. That's a lie from the pit of hell.
Yes.
These are principles and practices. It's
Yes.
knowledge.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
knowledge. And then you're gonna have to get the strength to apply the knowledge
Mhm.
because everything takes some strength.
Mhm.
But I just know that to be the truth.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I drop a lot of knowledge. And so in 3 days, I'm gonna teach you um how to step into your worth as a wife, because wife and worth go together.
Mhm.
I'm gonna teach you how to step into that worth as a wife. If you don't know your role, I'm gonna teach you more clearly that role, okay? And why it's so powerful and how to step more fully into that role. And then number two, I'm gonna teach you how you hold the key to unlock everything you want. You hold the key to unlock that in your husband, but you gotta learn the keys and you gotta know how to unlock it in him. Okay. And then I'm gonna teach you how to get the love that you really want and deserve, right? Okay. And so that's what the irresistible wife challenge. That's why I call it the irresistible wife, because I think at the end of the day, that's what we all want to be, is irresistible to our husbands. By irresistible, I don't mean he can't keep his hands off of you, right?
Right. Right.
My definition, Roz, of irresistible is this, is that an irresistible wife is a woman whose husband will go as far as he has to go. He'll reach as high as he has to reach. He'll do whatever he has to do to get her
Mm.
what she wants, needs, and deserves, because he
Mhm.
cannot live without, or he doesn't want to live without what she's supplying in his life.
That's good. That's good.
And so,
That's
honey, when you operating fully in
yeah.
this role,
Yeah.
you become irresistible.
Listen,
That brother do whatever he got to do to get you what
yes.
you want.
Yeah, I literally made a post, I think earlier this week, and I was saying how I have to be so careful
Yes, ma'am.
of what I say around him, because if I even hint, not
Yes.
even because I want him to do it, but if
Yes, ma'am.
I even hint that I want something, that I
Yes,
need
ma'am.
something, whatever, I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna have it. If he can get it and he can make it happen, he's gonna make it happen.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah,
And you know it. And so it's a confidence it brings to you.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, I am well aware that
Mhm.
Dexter Howard will do anything for me.
Yes, yes,
Anything for me.
yes, yes,
And it's a good feeling, you
yes.
know. And so I want every woman to have that feeling. You know,
Mm. Yeah.
he'll fight himself for me.
Yes, yes,
Or
yes.
sometimes the enemy he's got to fight is himself. I see him fight himself for me.
Yes,
It's just the truth.
yes. And you know what else is the truth though? Not
Mhm.
only do you know it and it brings you that confidence, but the people around you can see that. Like,
Oh, yes.
I know your husband. I know your husband will do anything for
He'll
you.
do anything for you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I know
And
he will.
when you know that, but I think I don't, we don't manipulate it or anything like that,
Right, right, right.
because what created that was this place of just pure unconditional love.
Oh,
And always having their back, always being that covering for that, always, just it's just love, and
yeah,
that love, they can't find that
yeah.
anywhere else. Listen, if you think irresistible has to do with sex, a man can get sex anywhere.
Anywhere. Come
Sex so
on,
easy.
Jeanette. Yes.
Sex is
Yes.
so easy. If you're trying to keep a man with sex, girl, you
Mhm.
so low. That's the lowest rung. You ain't
Yeah.
gonna never tie him down with
Never be
sex.
able to do it enough, good enough. None of that. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for one, it's too easy to get.
Yes. Yeah.
It's something else
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
beyond that.
Yeah. Oh, that's
That
good.
when that wife, boy, is operating fully in her role, what
Hmm.
you're supplying, he can't get it from nowhere else.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
he needs that thing to keep flowing. So whatever it takes to keep that flowing in his life, that brother gonna do it
Yeah, absolutely. Every time.
every time. That just
Every,
like this, I heard somebody say that's just the way that work. Just the way that work.
look, that's it. That's all.
That's just the way it work. That's it.
the
That's
way
all.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Anybody, any man on here will tell you, yeah, she right. That's just the way that work.
Yeah.
And you just got to figure that out, girlfriend. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna teach you how to get that supply going.
I love
Okay.
that.
And you'll literally become irresistible. It's not a weight, it's not a size, it's not a anything. It's not none of that you trying to do. My husband, I'm gonna say this and we'll end the broadcast. He literally thinks of women. He says, I feel so sorry for women sometimes. I said, why? He said, because y'all just going overboard with all this stuff, lashes and hair and all this stuff. He was like, y'all do that for each other because most men don't pay any attention to that.
They don't care. They don't care.
I put on 5 pounds. I'm agonizing over 5 to 10 pounds. He looking at me like, you don't look good. He ain't even looking at that. Like, girl, what you talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he don't even see that. Now, if I gain 100 pounds, he would
right.
You know what I'm saying? But the stuff
thing,
I'm laboring over, he's not even seeing.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
Not at all. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. Yeah.
It's a hard thing. It's a world you're providing for him thing. A feeling you're giving him.
Yes.
You know, an environment you're creating.
An environment. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
That he's just not willing to do it.
Can't wait to get home to it.
Can't wait to get home to get to it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's you. I just know any woman can do that.
Yeah.
Any woman can do that. Yeah. Unless you're married to a psychopath. And there are psychopaths out there. Or sociopaths. But most are not.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Most men are not sociopaths.
They are not.
Most. Okay. There's an extreme, right? But most are not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we just need to learn how to work that thing. So well, Roz, I'm so grateful for you being transparent, sharing your story. It's going to help somebody. And just for taking this time to share with the women who will listen now and later. Yes. So
thank you so much for having me. It was an honor. I know it was
challenging. Well, it was last minute. I'm not giving anybody much notice. So
I appreciate it so much. It's so funny. Before we get off, I just want to say this. It's like, I remember when I was going through COVID and you were one of the ones that reached out to me. I don't know if you even remember that, but I had a lot of anxiety going on, and man, you spoke some stuff in my life that really helped me get through that. And I'm forever grateful because that was a really hard time for me. So I thank you so much. So anything I can ever do to help in any kind of way, I'm here. I love you so much.
Wow. Thank you, Roz. All right. Okay. God bless. Everybody have a great evening. Bye-bye.